Joy News is observing an alarming trend where illegal mining is increasingly taking place within settlement of major towns along highways of the country. At Konongo, Asamai, Tamfo, and Osino, mining is being done with impunity along the main Accra-Kumasi highway in violation of environmental and water quality laws. Love FM's Erastus Asaredonko and his team have been traveling along the stretch to assess the situation in our reports.
Galamsey is worsening in many communities across the country, with miners operating glaringly in violation of environmental laws. A clear case is this illegal mining activity happening in the middle of the Konongo township, a few meters from the main Kumasi-Accra road. In a clear violation of the Environmental Protection Act 1994, the Minerals and Mining Act 2006, and the Water Resources Commission Act 1996, the miners have redirected the Owerri stream, which flows through the town, and destroyed large parts of the wetlands, contaminating sources of water for the community.
This is Konongo, close to the main Kumasi-Accra road. Now, this valley used to be a farming ground for many indigents here in the town and the surrounding communities. Now, what is happening here, for miles you can see it, is a violation of our laws. In fact, the Minerals and Mining Act 2006, Act 703, indicates that no person shall engage in mining activities in a water body or wetland without prior written approval from the ministry. No person shall undertake any activity that may affect the quality or quantity of water in a water body without prior written approval from the Minerals Commission. I doubt if what is happening in this valley, which is a violation of the law, has a written permission or consent from the Minister for Lands and Natural Resources.
Some of the miners we found at the site justified their illegal mining activity.
Interview. Listening to my chin. But still, it's not which anywhere. I could for this is aware. I know. I ask the government that I could do and about me spoil the country what they expect us to do. Shall we go and steal or what? Huh? The Bauman is his Sakofado. They're supposed to manage the country well for the youth to enjoy. Don't say we. Eh, pop up ya. Ya better need it. Am I a man? Mutaquin, somebody said, Makamaka, which I'm watching to our watching. I'm not too queer saying Hutana. I'm Tamko Muana. Don't you have everything? Yeah, wait. I'm watching queen.
We continued our fact-finding mission to Asaman Tamfwe on the main Kumasi-Accra road. Few inches from the main road, excavators are digging and scooping earth into an artisanal washing bay. The owner, Kwesi Asamoah, told us the mining activity is part of a community mining scheme commissioned by the Lands Minister himself. But Lands Minister Abdullahi Janapo denied knowledge of it when we contacted him.
Minerals Commission and EP and Minister for Lands. I'm on the requisite to give licenses.
After a few minutes' drive, we reached the eastern regional town of Osino, where an artisanal mining base set up inches from the Kumasi-Accra road is actively processing gold. Though this mining activity violates Section 15 of the Minerals and Mining Act 2006, Act 703, which prohibits mining 50 meters from a public road, these miners are carrying out their activity with no fear at all. One of them approached us in an angry mood, inquiring our mission to the place. Perhaps there is a law enforcement holiday for nature crimes. Reporting for Joy News, Erastus Asaredonko, Kumasi.
Well, quite some troubling visuals there in the narration that we've heard from us, Erastus. Erastus is joining me via Zoom. Erastus, great work there. How is the situation affecting the community members and also people who use the highways?
So you could see that we have waterlogged areas along the major road, which is seeping under the main road itself. And so it is possible that it could lead to a possible degradation of the road itself. Now, we are also seeing the spilling of residue from the mining, which is poisonous, heavy metals leading into the community itself, because these nature crimes are being committed within settlements, contrary to law. And so all these contaminated water you see here are eating deep into sources of water for the communities as well. So it is affecting people, and they themselves have placed calls to us, and that's why we went all the way to check it and bring it to the attention of the public.
What has happened since our last visit?
Well, so information coming in from Konongo indicates that many of them have since pulled out their excavators. They are trying to leave the site behind, and some authorities are also going around to check the situation. That's what we are getting, latest information we are getting from the ground.
Interesting. I heard someone say this is community mining. Have you verified whether indeed it is? Well, I've lost Erastus there, but also keep an eye on that particular story and how the environment has been degraded by these illegal miners. Now, away from that, non-communicable disease has been identified as the leading cause of death around the world. They include heart disease, cancer, and diabetes, and they are responsible for 43% of all deaths in the country, deepening poverty and straining our healthcare system. In a new document coded as the NCD's manifesto, the Ghana NCD's Alliance is asking political parties to commit to some actions to address NCDs and mental health burden facing the country. In the studio with us is Labran Musa, who is National Coordinator of the Ghana NCD Alliance. Before we start this conversation, though, here's NCDs in numbers. Let's share with you what we do know so far on this. Now, for non-communicable disease, we know that 74% of global deaths are caused by non-communicable diseases. And what are these? We're looking at lung diseases, cancer, mental disorders, type 2 diabetes, cardiovascular diseases, and that our source is the World Health Organization. Now, let's again, you look at the in terms of numbers, we have 17 million people dying from NCDs before the age of 70. That's a huge number there. And already I've spoken to you about what these NCDs are. So 17 million people die from NCDs before they turn 70. Again, according to the World Health Organization, 77% of NCD deaths occur in low and middle income countries like Ghana and a lot of the sub-Saharan African countries. So let's look at the numbers in terms of the diseases. So for cardiovascular diseases, we have 17.9 million people, dying through cardiovascular diseases. For cancer, 9.3 million people. When it comes to chronic respiratory, we have 4.1 people dying every year, according to this, from chronic respiratory diseases. Again, 2 million people die to diabetes annually, and that's quite huge. Now, what are the risks associated with non-communicable diseases? So tobacco use. So they tell you that when you use tobacco, and sometimes it's even written on the pack that tobacco use is not good for your health. Physical inability. So how often do you exercise? Normally we eat, sleep, and that's it. And also harmful use of alcohol. So those are the numbers. They're huge numbers. 17 million people dying through NCDs before they turn 70.